Hi, everybody. I'm Jared Pike. This is Shell Point Today for Thursday, March 27th. On today's show, we learn about the special guests at next week's Women's Conference, the Women Who Dare to Believe. We'll also visit the model train room in the tunnel, which was recently featured on Fox 4's morning news show. But first, if you look on page 23 of your Shell Point Life magazine, you'll read some testimonials for Shell Point's personalized transportation service. Now, we know many of you have given up driving, but if you've got a special evening plan downtown or have to make a trek to the airport, how do you do it? Well, forget taxis. Leave the driving to us. When you use Shell Point's personalized transportation service, you'll get door-to-door service from Shell Point to anywhere in Florida for just $25 an hour. You can even take up to 3 people for the same cost. Need a trek to the airport? We can do it. Catching a cruise ship in Fort Lauderdale? We'll take you there and take you back home when you return. Even trips to medical appointments are better when you know it's a Shell Point employee behind the wheel, fully licensed and insured. And the best part? The charge goes straight on your resident account, so there's no cash and no tipping required. To find out more or to reserve your own personalized transportation service, call the Woodlands Service Desk at 454-2054. Of course, the ultimate transportation service in Florida is by boat. Don't have a boat yourself? Hey, don't worry, most of us don't. That's why there's the SuzieQ, our community pontoon boat, offering $5 tours of our local waterways for you and 25 of your closest friends and family. Every trip visits a favorite waterfront lunch destination, and we've just announced the SuzieQ schedule for April. Every Monday, the boat leaves the docks behind the village church at 10 a.m. and heads to Fort Myers Beach for the lunch destination of Matanzas Inn. On Tuesdays, be there at 11 a.m. for the quick trip through the locks to Cape Coral and the Shell Point favorite Rum Runners. On Thursdays at 10 a.m., the SuzieQ disembarks for an adventurous trip through Pine Island Sound, arriving at Woody's Waterfront Restaurant. And on Fridays, multiple destinations are available, including downtown Fort Myers, the Lighthouse Restaurant just around the corner, and Marker 92 in Cape Coral. To sign up for rides on the SuzieQ, call the Volunteer Greeter Desk at 454-2136. And keep in mind, there will be no trips on April 18th, which is Good Friday. Also, if you want to rent the SuzieQ for a private charter trip or a court party, we can make it happen. Call Melody Desolé at 454-2290, and you can treat your friends and family to a private voyage on the SuzieQ. By the way, you can learn more about these transportation services on our website, www.shellpoint.net. Just look at the top tabs, and under Services, you'll see Transportation, which features a complete schedule of our buses, trams, and boats. And while we're talking about the website, the newly redesigned shellpoint.net has information on nearly everything imaginable when it comes to Shell Point. One of the most popular links is the one that says Events, which lists all the concerts, trips, and special events coming up on the calendar. For example, tomorrow it mentions the Wild About Style Spring Fashion Show taking place in the church auditorium. If you've got tickets to this fashionable event, then make sure you're at the church auditorium tomorrow at 12 o'clock noon. And we actually have 2 events happening at Hammond Stadium in Fort Myers, the spring training home of the Minnesota Twins. Tomorrow, a group is traveling there at 11:15 to watch the Minnesota Twins host the Boston Red Sox. And then, on Saturday, the stadium is hosting a charity walk called the Scope for Hope 5K, benefiting research for colon cancer. You can participate in this event and even get a free Shell Point Cares t-shirt in the process. Just sign up and be ready for an early morning pickup Saturday morning starting at 7 a.m. Sign up by calling the Island Service Desk at 454-2282 or the Woodland Service Desk at 454-2054. And then, next weekend, we have a very special event happening at the Village Church. It's actually two events rolled into one. It's a concert next Friday night starring the Women Who Dare to Believe. And then on Saturday, they host a women's conference open to the public. I talked to Glenda Stephenson to learn more about this event. Hi everybody, it's Jared Pike and Glenda Stephenson. We're on the stage of the Village Church, and right now we got a bunch of empty seats, but it wasn't like that a year ago with an act called Women Who Dare to Believe. What was this act like?
Jared, it was two women, Nan Gurley and Bonnie Keene, who have put together a 90-minute musical dramatic presentation that highlights 21 women in the Bible. And they use a big red piece of cloth that ties all of this together. It kind of represents the bloodline of Christ. And they use this cloth in a variety of ways as they dramatize, sing, tell the story of 21 women of influence in the scriptures.
And these ladies can sing, but they're also funny. They can act. They're multi-talented. And what did people say after the performance? There was quite a buzz about it.
There really was. I heard so many people say this was life-changing. I've heard people say, I saw them last year and I would not miss it for anything this year. It was just that meaningful.
That's great. So these two ladies, Women Who Dare to Believe, are coming back to the Village Church on April 4th. That's a Friday night. Give us the specifics of this concert, when, where, and how much.
April 4th is the concert. It'll be a 90-minute dramatic presentation again, but it's going to be a little bit different this year because we're going to be around round tables, dessert buffet. It's going to be just a very special atmosphere for men and women. Okay. This is a regular concert open to anybody to attend, and I would encourage folks, do not miss this. It'll be $15 for just the Friday night event. Okay, so April 4th, Friday night, $15 for the Women Who Dare to Believe concert. And dessert. And dessert. And dessert. Now, this is not the only special part of this weekend. We're also rolling in a women's conference. Now, these two ladies are going to be involved in the conference. Talk about what's going to happen on Saturday. Saturday, they're doing 3 sessions that highlight specific women in the Bible. The first session begins at 9 o'clock. We've got another session in the morning. We break for a nice catered lunch, very nice lunch. And then we come back for the final session at 1:30 in the afternoon. And they will weave through the series of 3 sessions what it means to be a woman who dares to believe. And I think people will really appreciate this. That's great. And so if you like the performance, you like watching the performance, just imagine what insights these ladies have to share personally, not on stage as performers, but just as women. So it's this women's conference is not just open to Shell Point residents, but it's open to the public, family members, friends, your neighbors. All women are welcome to the Saturday conference. Right, and the Saturday conference is $35 if that's all you're doing. But I would really recommend for ladies that they do the package deal because they can get both the Friday night and the Saturday for $45 and save a little bit. So you save money if you get tickets to both the concert and the conference. Once again, the concert is open to all men and women, and there's dessert. That's on Friday night. And Saturday is the women's conference. Women Who Dare to Believe, that's $35. But again, you can save money by getting tickets both together. Where do they get tickets? By calling the Village Church office. They can charge their Shell Point account. They can send a check, and we'll hold their tickets, and we'll call. We'll work with them however we can. But we do need to get their ticket requests before the end of this month if we can because of the catered lunch on Saturday. Okay. Anytime there's food, we need to know how many are coming in advance. So call the Village Church at 454-2147 to reserve your tickets, or just come on by and they'll tell you more about this amazing weekend, Women Who Dare to Believe.
Now they are back!
there's one more musical event we want you to know about. It's the Shell Point Singers. Your friends and neighbors in the Singers have been practicing all spring, and their musical selections for spring all include critters, from Pop Goes the Weasel to Grasshopper. Don't miss this free performance 1 week from tonight, Thursday, April 3rd at 7:15 p.m. in the church auditorium. Now, last week, we received a visit from Fox 4 Morning News reporter Alex Butler. They wanted to promote an upcoming model train show in Fort Myers, and what better place to do it than our own model train room, located in the Island Tunnel. Of course, it takes some stamina to do early morning television, and some hardy Shell Point volunteers were there at 5 a.m. to assist with the live TV shoot, staying for almost 3 hours. This included Joe Williamson, Paul Schnees, Bill and Ann Barbazette, Phyllis Ingalls, and Marilyn Horvath. Many thanks to our volunteer train engineers and docents for helping to show off one of Shell Point's prized creations. Now, if you've never visited the train room before, you don't know what you're missing. It's the perfect springtime diversion for you and your visiting family and friends. Here's a preview of what you'll see.
The Gulf Coast Model Railroad began in 1971 as a hobby project by residents of Shell Point Retirement Community in Fort Myers, Florida. They wanted a display that mirrored the state of Florida, with all its landmarks and natural beauty. As they continued to add features, the model expanded to 41 feet long by 43 feet wide. Today, volunteer engineers keep watch over the weaving, interlocking tracks, more than 750 feet of track in total. Volunteer artists bring the details to life. From the locomotives and their cars to the surrounding buildings, foliage, and people. Let's take a trip through miniature Florida on the trains of the Gulf Coast Model Railroad. This one looks like a circus train. I wonder where it's headed. Here come the powerful diesel locomotives. This interactive display shows all the major gauges of model railroad track, all the way down to tiny gauge Z, where the track is only a 1/4 inch across. At the Gulf Coast Model Railroad, children can become engineers, and engineers can become children.
If you'd like to visit the Gulf Coast Model Railroad, just head to the Island Tunnel on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. You can also arrange special tours if you have a big group coming in. And don't forget, they can always use volunteer engineers, docents, and artists to assist with the display. Just call Melody Desolé at 454-2290 to learn more about the model train room. Now, let's cover all of Thursday's happenings, followed by your menus and Village Church connections.
Welcome to the happening segment of Shell Point TV. I'm Bev Chandley, and I'm going to go over what's going on here at the Shell Point today. 7:15, our Health Connections class is Bend, Breathe, and Balance. You'll find that down in the Health Club on the island. You can just drop in. No sign-up is required. At 8 o'clock, we have the Men's Golf Association down at the golf course. Also at 8 o'clock, we have the Round Robin Doubles Tennis at the Woodlands Tennis Courts. At 9:30 is the time the current events group will be in the game room of the Woodlands. And then we'll go to 9:30 where the ladies match play tennis will be down at the Woodlands Tennis Courts. The kayakers will be heading out at 9:30. They meet behind the kayak storage facility. 9:30, the card game of Samba will be played in the Sable Room at the Woodlands. We have an introduction to beginning line dancing down at the Health Club at 9:45. Then at 10 o'clock, the SuzieQ will head out to Woody's for lunch. You do need to sign up for that. At 10:15, we have basic line dancing in the Health Club. And our last morning activity is at 11 o'clock with the poetry group. They'll be in the Crystal Dining Room on the island. Moving into the afternoon activities, we have a 12:45 Mahjong game being played outside the Library Lounge at the Resident Activity Center. Then we have a 1:15 shuffleboard game at the Shuffleboard Court. We have a Health Connections class at 2:45 today. It's Balance and Mobility Training Level 2. That'll be in the Health Club on the island. Then our seamstress will be here at 4 o'clock in the Osprey Room. So if you need any sewing done, head down there. We have a 4:30 Alcoholics Anonymous meeting in the Sable Room at the Woodlands. Pinnacle at 6:30 will be in the Library Lounge. And our last activity for today is 7 o'clock, the Trailblazers Bible Study group in the game room of the Woodlands. Thank you for joining me today, and we'll be back here with the happening segment tomorrow.
Menus for Thursday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is braised pork with brown rice, Swiss chard, and white beans. The dinner special is the Crystal Carving Board for $12.95, and the soup of the day is broccoli cheddar bacon. In the Island Cafe for lunch on Thursday, enjoy a patty melt with grilled onions and chips for $7.25. The dinner special is Thai night for $8.25. Dinner specials in the Palm Grill on Thursday are New York Strip for $19.95 or poached sole for $15.95. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
It is my privilege to welcome you today to Village Church Connections. Thank you for joining us. So much is being said about the Women Who Dare to Believe conference coming to Shell Point April 4th and 5th. We're anticipating this to be a memorable weekend. Our special guests for the weekend will be Nan Gurley and Bonnie Keene, two veteran actresses who have written an original musical drama that explores the lives of 21 women who were instrumental in Jewish history. They recently did a TV interview sharing what inspired them to undertake this project. The interview is from another context, but I think you will appreciate it nevertheless. Take a look.
Here to tell us all about women who dare to believe are actresses Bonnie Keene and Nan Gurley. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
This sounds so exciting. I want to come see this. Tell us a little bit about the musical, what it's all about.
Well, it's called Women Who Dare to Believe, and we portray 21 different women, as you said, from Scripture. And our only set piece is a 20-foot long, 3-foot wide piece of scarlet fabric. And this fabric becomes a lot of different things in the show. It's the River Nile at one point. It's Rahab's scarlet cord that she hung from her window. Basically, though, it represents the bloodline of Jesus in the lives of women from Genesis to Revelation.
Wow, because sometimes it kind of seems like the women get overlooked a little bit, but you're going to really bring all that to light. So you all wrote this, I don't know, a few years ago, right?
Yes.
Talk about why you wrote it.
We've been friends for a very long time and performing and writing together off and on for many years. And we were sitting around Nan's kitchen table, which is where a lot of creativity happens for us. And we're talking about our daughters and wanting to look at the women in the Bible and see what they dealt with in their culture compared to what our kids face in this culture. And we found that there's so many things that are similar. They're just like us. They're women that had fears and hopes and dreams, that faced difficulties, and how God used messy people, really. These women, a lot of them, they weren't all cleaned up and pristine. They were just, a lot of surprising situations that God used. And how his love reached out to them. And so we got more and more intrigued with what women had not been talked about, what women had been discovered or looked at. And it just kind of took on a life of its own.
We didn't want these women to be relegated to a dusty shelf, as icons, as stained glass women that were perfect. And we wanted to give our daughters role models to follow that were not like the role models our culture often offers.
Right. So why did you choose the women that you chose? You chose about, what, 21 women?
Yes. We chose some interesting women that are most of the time maybe overlooked. And like in in Matthew, in the first chapter, it talks about there are 4 women that came through the genealogy of Jesus. 4 women you would not expect.
Right.
Rahab, who was a harlot. Tamar, who had a really strange relationship with her father-in-law. Bathsheba, very well known with David. And then Ruth, who was considered by the Israelites to be, off limits as a Moabite. Right. Those are the 4 women that are in the genealogy of Jesus. What women, are not looked at. So one of our favorites, I think, was Leah and Rachel, who birthed this 12 tribes of Israel, married to the same man, the same guy. How was that? Yeah, two
sisters who felt, one felt completely inadequate because she felt like she wasn't pretty enough. The other felt completely inadequate because she was infertile and couldn't have kids.
Babies. Exactly.
Yeah.
So they all have their own struggles.
Used them to birth the 12 tribes and that Jesus came from, those 12 tribes. So.
Amazing lessons to learn from all of these women. Who is this for? What kind of audience?
Anybody who's breathing.
But we did it in D.C. the first time we did it in 2010, and men and women came, and children, and it was like a theater event. It is a 90-minute theatrical piece. A lot of women love it, of course, because it's about women, but a lot of men have come up to us afterwards and said, I never realized what these women lived through and what they were like and how it inspired me.
Right.
So,
and so some serious lessons we can learn from it, but there's also some funny moments.
Oh, my goodness. There's a lot of humor.
Yes. I give birth to twins on stage. We're on the floor rolling around at one point, fighting. And there's some really interesting people that meet, from different eras. They run into each other and have interaction. I think it's got a lot of fun and humor and also a lot of really inspiring, hopeful messages in it.
We kind of fantasize what would it have been like if Mary Magdalene got to meet Eve. So we actually have a scene like that. What would they have said to each other at the empty tomb?
I like that. Yes. Very
and
cool.
Esther and Deborah run into each other, right as Deborah's going to fight a war and Esther's going in to meet the king. Those kind of moments that are really fun.
Right, very neat.
So there you have it. Now is the time to get your tickets for the weekend. Friday night tickets include a dessert buffet and are $15. The evening is open to men and women. Saturday is for women only. Tickets are $35 and include a catered lunch. However, ladies, we encourage you to get a combination ticket for $45 and save $5. Tickets can be purchased by calling or stopping by the Village Church. They are also available online. This is a wonderful opportunity, and we certainly hope to see you there. Have a great day.
We're glad you joined us for today's show. Tune in tomorrow as Finemark Bank offers some helpful tips on avoiding identity theft. Until then, this is Shell Point Today for Thursday, March 27th. I'm Jared Pike, and from all of us here at Shell Point TV, we hope you have a great day, and we'll see you again tomorrow.